Okay, let's talk. Are you sending out resume after resume and just hearing crickets? It's so frustrating, but listen, it's probably not you. It's your resume. It's likely getting caught in some digital spam filter or just getting tossed aside in a few seconds. But don't worry, we're going to fix that right now.
Seriously, it's one of the most frustrating feelings, right? You know you're qualified. You know you could crush that job. But for some reason, your resume just isn't getting you in the door. It feels like you're just sending it out into a black hole. But here's the good news. This is actually a really easy problem to solve once you see what's going on behind the scenes.
So let's dive right in. You need to understand this. The average recruiter, they spend just 7 seconds on the first scan of your resume. Yeah, you heard me. 7 seconds. That is the entire window you have to grab their attention and convince them to keep reading. If you don't pass that test, you're done. It's brutal, but it's the truth.
So where do they even look in those 7 seconds? Right at the top. The top third of your resume, that is the most valuable real estate you have. Think of it like a storefront on the busiest street in town. It's your digital handshake, it's your first impression, and it is absolutely where that win or lose decision gets made.
Okay, let's look at a real-world before example. Right off the bat, what's my first impression? Honestly, I can barely even see this person's name. Look at it, David Hill. It's so small, it just blends in with everything else. It doesn't pop at all. That is mistake number 1, and it's the first thing we've got to fix. All right, we're going to take this top section and turn it from a major liability into your biggest asset. We're talking about your digital handshake here. It needs to be firm, confident, and professional. So let's start with the absolute basics, your name and your contact info. Just look at the difference here. On the left, yikes, these are major red flags for a recruiter. First, your full street address, never, ever put that on there. It's a safety issue, and frankly, nobody needs it. Then this email, I love cats at, it's cute, but it's totally unprofessional. And that long, messy LinkedIn URL, it just looks sloppy. Now look at the right. So much cleaner, right? City and state, that's all you need. A professional email address, and a clean, custom LinkedIn URL. Instant upgrade. And here it is. This is the simplest, but maybe the most powerful change you can make. Your name needs to be the biggest thing on the page, period. Just by making that font bigger, boom, suddenly the whole page has an anchor. A recruiter knows exactly who they're looking at in less than a second. Now, I know getting all this formatting perfect, the spacing, the fonts, the margins, it can be an absolute nightmare. You can spend hours fighting with your word processor, and it still ends up looking kind of weird. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. And that's actually why I'm so excited about today's sponsor, mobilecv.ai. It's an AI tool that was literally built to solve this exact headache. You can just upload any document you have, like even a messy brain dump of your work history, and in about 60 seconds, it spits out a perfectly formatted, professional resume. It uses these really high-end templates, we're talking LaTeX level design, so your resume always looks super clean and polished without any of the struggle. Okay, so we've cleaned up the header, but there's another big problem with our before resume. I'm looking at it, and I see skills, right? Project management, Java, but I have no clue what this person actually wants to do. What job are they applying for? There's no direction. And a confused recruiter, they just move on to the next one. So how do we fix this? With a modern objective statement. Now, you might have heard that objective statements are totally outdated. And you're kind of right. The old ones, those fluffy paragraphs about seeking a challenging opportunity, yeah, those are dead. The modern objective is just one single direct line that says exactly what job you're targeting. That's it. Simple. And the impact of that one line is huge. When a hiring manager sees Senior Director of Software Engineering, they instantly know which mental folder to put you in. It makes their job easier, and it makes you look focused and decisive. It signals that you're a serious candidate for the roles they need to fill, and that makes them want to keep reading. Okay, let's move down to the next part of this top section, the summary. The original resume just had a list of skills like project management and mentoring. That's telling me what you can do, but it's not showing me your impact. We need to swap that vague list for a powerful summary that actually proves your value. And this is where the magic really happens. Look at the huge difference here. On the left, you've got this vague cloud of skills. On the right, you have concrete achievements. Instead of just software development, it now says delivered $45 million in software solutions. Instead of project management, it's handled $10 million projects. See the difference? This isn't just a list of things you can do. It's a portfolio of your biggest wins.
Numbers are, without a doubt, the most powerful tool you have on your resume. They give context, they show scale, and they offer proof. A number takes a skill from being this abstract idea and grounds it in real-world business value. This is how you go from just listing your job duties to telling a compelling story about what you've actually accomplished.
But before you rush to hit apply, there's one more secret gatekeeper you need to know about. It's a big one. Most companies now use software called an applicant tracking system, or ATS, to scan your resume before a human ever sees it. And here's the scary part. About 75% of resumes get rejected by these bots, often because of simple formatting issues. And this is another reason why a tool like mobilecv.ai is such a game changer. It's specifically built to be ATS-friendly. The AI basically makes sure your resume is formatted in a way that the bots can read perfectly, so it actually makes it into the hands of a real person. You can even get started with 3 free credits to build your first one and see for yourself. Okay, let's pull all of this together with one last simple rule. This is your final check before you hit send on any application. I call it the magazine cover rule.
Think of the top third of your resume like the cover of a magazine on a newsstand. Its one and only job is to be so compelling, so interesting, and so perfectly on point that it makes the person stop and say, I have to know what's inside. In our case, that means getting them to call you for an interview. If that cover is strong enough, they might be sold before they even read the rest of your experience.
So here's my challenge to you. Before you apply to one more job, pull up your resume and ask yourself this. If a hiring manager could only read the top third of this page, would it be enough to get me the interview? All on its own. If the answer isn't an immediate, confident yes, then you know exactly what you need to go back and fix.